The target for this exercise is to get a top, side, front view of this composition as a whole. So like we did last time, we want to know what the top faces are, what the front faces are, and side. I'm going to do R for right side and left for left side, B for back. B for back. Now, this time you can trace things, but ideally you want to just measure and draw with your parallel ruler. But since we're doing everything digitally, I'm going to trace this and show you in Rhino how to do it correctly. So here, I'm tracing the entire composition. Your favorite final composition it is. You don't have to do all three, just one. So I'm tracing the footprint of the composition, but there are other things above that I didn't trace, right? I cannot forget this. So I'm kind of using my pencil to trace the things that are hovering above. And I'm going to try to explain to you how this works. I'm really looking at three faces here: the top uppermost, middle one, and bottom one. Whatever is closer to the camera, whatever is closer to our eyes, is going to be dark line, medium line, and thin line. This is in order for us to be able to demonstrate depth. So if I put that over here so we can see both. The very, very top, I have this volume, and that's going to be the heavy line. Second, I see this volume, which is here. And third is this part. This edge is hidden by the second volume, so it's a dashed line. Let me apply the line weight now. Top volume is the very thick one because it's at the highest elevation. This is medium, so I'm using medium line. And this is thin line. I'm going to try to get the thinnest line that I can. In your case, you're going to use your very thin micron pen. This line is hidden, so I'm going to dash it in. Hidden lines are always the thinnest. So if this and this is your micron pen, the 005, maybe this is 0.5, and this is 0.5 or 6 or something thicker. You have to try to see what looks good. This is my top view, and I am done with this. No shading here, but we also need dimensions. So the dimensions go, I have these marks now here, which are in the middle. Dimension line goes here and here. Just X and Y. How do I dimension that? I pull the dimension line far away from the object. How far? Maybe about an inch. About an inch away. This is about an inch. So I leave a very safe distance from the object. These are in the way right now. And I measure both the, I should not have put the text quite yet. So the part and the whole. Part, 1 3/4. This is 1 inch. This is 3/4. This is 1.
Oh, your camera says low battery.
Thanks for pointing that out. I'm going to plug it in right now. Great. So here, same thing. I'm going to get part, and whole. And I forgot this piece. So the final measurement is going to be here. What are these parts? I can measure, I need to measure it from the model. 1/4. Hopefully this is accurate enough when I traced it. 1/4. Oh. One and a half. Again, 1.5 and 1/4, and then you add this up at the top. Okay, so first thing is the drawing with the 3 line weights. When we do orthographic views like this, we're not highlighting the profile like we do in 3D. This is 2D work. We're using line weight to demonstrate depth or height. So whatever is at the top, heavy, medium, and light. The next thing I'm gonna pull to the right and to the left. I'm going to allow maybe 1.5 inches space in order to draw the side elevation. Now for this, you might want to tape your pieces together so you can actually turn the composition around. So I have the composition here and I'm doing the following. Here I'm going to capture right, and here I'm going to capture left. Right and left. So really on my right hand side, I'm seeing the left view. Can you do it a different way? Yes, you can, instead of turning it this way, you can turn it that way. You see, I'm pulling right to right and then left to left. Does that make sense? Both ways are valid. Please, it says here, please move the window away. It's okay. Do you want me to demonstrate that again?
I was gonna say, can you do one of the sides, because you see how if you move it to the side, one of the pieces are gonna fall down flat, because since that small one is like, you could say like on top of the other one, how would that work?
You just want to tape them together for now. I don't want you to glue them quite yet, but you can use paper tape to hold them together so we understand a little bit the depth. So I'm doing a very quick job. I want you to do it nicely. Eventually, if you tape it nicely, you won't even see the tape. It's tricky. So this is good enough for me to draw it without the pieces falling down. Let me demonstrate again what I was saying. You have 2 options. You can either do, so this is all right, and this is all left. Left, left, left. 2 ways to do it. You either do flip it over, just flip. In this case, you have right here and left on your right hand side. You can do that, or you can do right on the right side and left on the left side. So what changes is if I put it here, my tabletop is here. This is the tabletop if right is on right. If I just flip it down like this, the tabletop is here. That's the only difference. This object, this is the tabletop. You always need to be aware of that, right? This is the bottom. So either I do it like this, or I do it like this. Both are correct. You just need to choose one way or the other, either this way or that way. Any questions about that?
Can you proceed doing the right way, please? The right side, I meant.
You want to do the right on right?
Yes, please.
Great. So I place right on right. I draw my tabletop, make sure I know where the object sits. That's my ground line. And now I'm going to trace the object in such a way where I keep alignment. So I'm very careful not to shift this to the right or left. I'm trying to keep exactly the boundaries of the object within the boundaries. So this line should match, this line should match, this line should match. You see, these alignments hold. Now I'm tracing the object. And I have a very vague outline. I have just the profile. It's a sketch. This is the object that's closer to my eyes. This is top, at the top. Second, I see this. And third, the furthest away from my eyes is this. So this is 1, 2, and 3. As I said, whatever is higher up is a thicker line.
The screen.
Oh, sorry to interrupt your screen, your phone screen.
Oh,
Kind of froze.
Yeah.
And thank you. So that whatever is higher up is a thicker line. This is the second down, so it's a medium line. And this is the furthest away from my eyes, so it becomes really, really thin. Think about it like it fades away. The further back it goes, it just goes away. And the tabletop, you can draw a thick line here or a medium line, it's fine as long as we know where it sits. Here I can continue with the dimensions. I already know these dimensions. I measured it here, so I don't need to repeat that. What I do not know is the heights. So this is new information, and I'm going to keep the same alignments as I'm doing here. First, the short ones. Part, 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 and then whole. I don't need to dimension anything else. Those dimensions are here. So I dimensioned X, Y, and Z. Questions so far? So I'm looking down at the object, I see 3 closed shapes. Can someone help with lines that I'm missing? Which lines am I missing that are hidden?
The dotted line.
So this block is hiding.
That block in the back.
Right, so I should see these edges. If I don't draw these edges, it looks like this piece, number 3, it looks like it's short. When I look here, this piece, I do not know how tall this piece is. I only know width and depth. When I look at it here for the first time, we reveal its height. If I do not draw the dashed lines, it looks like this object is only this tall. So it's an error not to include the dashed. There is no other way to know how tall this is, except for introducing hidden lines. Questions? Do you want me to do the left?
So you want us to do just 2D elevations, right?
Just 2D elevations.
Just 2D, okay.
And we will do the 2D, what I'm demonstrating here, I want you to understand the logic, and we will do the drafting in Rhino. So let me try the left side. So you said right on right, that's the logic we're pursuing, right on right and left on left. So how far away? I want to keep same distance. I went almost 5 inches away. I'm going to do the same here. So my tabletop is going to be there. Right on right, left on left. See, I actually need a little bit more room because if I draw it 5 inches away, it's going to cover my dimension line. So I'm moving the object a little bit further back. So my tabletop is rather here.
One question.
Yes, please.
So basically, we're first drawing it out so that we could later put it on Rhino.
If you're comfortable doing it directly on Rhino, fine. But my recommendation is to sketch it on paper first, so you know
that's what
what you're doing on Rhino. And I will show you how you can transfer it on Rhino. You can basically photograph this and trace over in Rhino. I will explain this in a second. So here again, the alignments, remember at the bounding box, I want to make sure that the object sits within the same rails. I don't want to move it out, right or left. So it sits right here, and this alignment holds, this alignment holds, and I am doing a very rough, I'm cheating, I'm just drawing over it. I'm drawing the volume that's on top, the volume that's at the bottom. So this is roughly the outline of the object. What is at the very top? These two pieces are coplanar. No one is higher than the other. They're exactly at the same height. So we can use a thick line for both. No one is higher than the other. So this guy is here. This one is right here. And the bottom one is furthest back. So thick line for this one. Thick line for this one as well. And then a thin line for the third volume that's furthest away from my eyes. And I'm going to use a thick line for the tabletop as well. Which lines am I missing? Are there any hidden lines that I'm missing?
Oh, the dotted line in between those two big blocks.
It's right here. So I'm missing this edge. This block is hiding this edge. There is nothing else that's hidden. That's it. And here I do not need to add any dimensions whatsoever because I know the width, I know the height, I know the depth. So I only want to add the legends. So this is the left view. And this is the right view. Questions so far?
Do we have to, does it have a specific name?
The drawing that I'm making, it's called orthographic drawing or multi-view drawing.
Okay.
It's the same as we did as you already did orthographic drawing for just one block last week. Remember how I was demonstrating last week? I was demonstrating that, remember?
Yeah.
It's the same exercise. It's an orthographic drawing, a front, side, and top. Same logic, exactly the same logic. But now we're doing it for the entire composition, not just one block.
All right.
Good.
So it has to be the same composition?
It has to be your final favorite composition, one composition.
Okay.
Other questions?
And we're drawing 3 sides, right?
No, we're drawing more. I will continue right now. You're doing top.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, you're doing top. Let me put that again. Top, right, left, front, and back. So let me make sure, or whichever you want to call front is fine. I can call this front. This is already called front. So front, 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 and back, back, back. So how am I doing it? So you notice how I'm kind of knocking it down here, like this. I'm doing the same thing here. So back happens to be at the top. And front, same principle. I grab the object, pull it down safely. I don't move it right or left. I try to keep the exact same bounding box, and the tabletop is here. I need to know which way is up, right? That's why I'm always drawing the tabletop in. And I'm checking my alignments. This is good, this is good. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm tracing the object, top and bottom. This is very messy. I think I'm losing, I didn't do very precisely here because this object is coming out more, and I missed that here. So this object is coming out here. This is in fact a dashed line. There is a projection here. So this projection is visible here. Same idea, which one is closer to my eyes? This object is closer to my eye. This is medium, and this is furthest apart. So thick line, medium line, and very thin line beyond. Are there any hidden lines here? Does this hide anything?
Yeah, your longest edge is the one that's at the bottom. That one is hidden.
Exactly. This object hides this edge. So here, dashed. This object doesn't hide anything. Only this does. This hides this edge. It basically hides this part here. This is the only part that we don't see. So I'm dashing it in. Do I need any dimension lines here?
I don't think so.
You're correct. I already know the depth, the width, the depth, and I already know the height. Now let me confirm, do the heights, if I did a good job, if I measured it accurately, the heights should match. This is a point I need your attention here because that can get tricky. Some students often get confused with that. If I extend the tabletop and extend this tabletop, they meet and they create this rectangle. If I go 45 degrees from here, wherever these lines hit, I should technically be extending the same exact dimensions. Meaning, hold on, here. I extend the tabletop until it meets that tabletop. Wherever the two tabletops meet, I draw a 45-degree angle, and then I extend very thin construction lines. These lines should meet. If I did a correct job, they should meet exactly here. Why? Because this dimension and this dimension is the same. This dimension and this dimension is the same, and the height is the same. So if this one here is 4 inches, this one is 4 inches as well. So you can think about it, if you had a compass, you know, this dimension and this dimension should match. So that's how we draw it here. Technically, in reality, you don't really have to trace anything here. If you have a top view and the front and a right view, you can just draw the diagonal and transfer the heights into the front view. I only drew 1, 2, 3, 4 views. We want 5. Okay, I didn't finish with the one at the top, but I will do this in rhyme. Say I have a very complex piece and I want to dimension that. I have to do every single part. So I do a construction line at a safe distance from the object. Again, about 1.5 inches. Allow some room, don't collapse everything together. And these are very thin lines. Dimension lines are thin. And once I have the construction line here, this is where the dimensions are gonna go aligned. And I pull these construction lines, very, very thin hairline down. And these are the partial dimensions. So I'm going to say, here goes all these dimensions. It's like this. And here, right below, I'm going to do the overall one. These are called string dimensions. Here, same thing, I'm gonna go away from the drawing, do a construction line here, pull down all the parts. I wanna know this part, this part. This may be too confusing, I'm gonna leave it for the other side. So this part is X.
So I put them all on one line for the first
All
one.
on one line. And then you kind of add them up at the right below. So now this is too big, this distance. This looks nicer. Try to keep the additive and the total approximately 1/4 inch apart.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pull this line closer. Approximately 1/4 inch apart. This is too far. And approximately 1.5 inches approximately away from the drawing. And you do not want to do dimensions inside the object.
Yeah.
Think about the object, think about the bounding box. This is the object and you stay clear of it.